World War III, a hypothetical scenario that has been a subject of many discussions, novels, and films, stirs both fear and curiosity. With the advancement of technology, especially in weaponry, the implications of a Third World War would be far more devastating than its predecessors. This script delves into the potential causes, progression, and consequences of such a conflict. The causes of a Third World War could stem from multiple sources, including territorial disputes, ideological differences, competition for resources, or even cyber warfare. Rising tensions between major world powers, economic rivalries, or alliances could also play a significant role in igniting the conflict. Technology would be a critical factor in World War III. Unlike previous wars, this conflict could see the use of artificial intelligence, autonomous drones, and cyber attacks. The digital battlefield would be as crucial as the physical one, with nations targeting each other's infrastructure, communication networks, and financial systems. The most alarming aspect of World War III would be the potential use of nuclear weapons. With several countries possessing significant nuclear arsenals, the threat of mutually assured destruction looms large. The detonation of nuclear bombs could lead to catastrophic loss of life and long-term environmental consequences. A global war would likely trigger an economic collapse. Supply chains would be disrupted, trade routes closed, and economies strained by the costs of war. The global financial system could face a severe crisis, leading to widespread unemployment, inflation, and poverty. The human cost of World War III would be staggering. Millions could be displaced, creating an unprecedented refugee crisis. Food and water shortages, along with the destruction of healthcare systems, would lead to widespread suffering and mortality. The environmental impact of such a war could be devastating. Nuclear fallout, chemical weapons, and widespread destruction would contribute to environmental degradation. The release of pollutants and the destruction of ecosystems could lead to long-term ecological damage. The political landscape would be drastically altered. Governments might collapse, and new alliances could form. The balance of power would shift, potentially leading to the emergence of new global leaders or the disintegration of current superpowers. A global conflict could exacerbate health crises. The spread of diseases would be rapid due to poor living conditions and the collapse of healthcare infrastructures. Biological warfare could introduce new, deadly pathogens, causing pandemics. Cyber warfare would play a significant role in World War III. Attacks on critical infrastructure like power grids, banking systems, and communication networks could paralyze nations. The battle for cyber supremacy would be fierce, with both state and non-state actors involved. The militarization of space could become a reality. Satellites, essential for communication, navigation, and surveillance, could be targeted, leading to a new dimension of warfare. The destruction of satellites would have far-reaching implications for civilian and military operations. Information warfare would be rampant, with nations spreading propaganda to demoralize and deceive their enemies. Social media and other digital platforms could be used to manipulate public opinion and spread misinformation, adding a psychological dimension to the conflict. Nations would likely form new alliances, reshaping global politics. Old alliances might dissolve under the strain of war, while new coalitions could emerge based on mutual interests and survival. Non-state actors such as terrorist organizations, private military companies, and international corporations could play significant roles. These groups might exploit the chaos for their own agendas, complicating the conflict further. The pressure of war could accelerate technological advancements. New weapons, defense systems, and medical technologies could be developed at an unprecedented pace, changing the nature of warfare and post-war recovery. Societies would be deeply affected. The fabric of communities could be torn apart, with trust in institutions eroded. Post-war, the world could see a rise in authoritarianism, as governments tighten control to maintain order. Culture and art would reflect the realities of war. Literature, films, and music might be heavily influenced by the themes of conflict, survival, and loss. Post-war, there could be a cultural renaissance as societies rebuild and reflect on the lessons learned. The psychological impact on individuals and societies would be profound. The trauma of war, loss of loved ones, and the destruction of homes would leave deep scars. Mental health issues like PTSD would be widespread, requiring extensive support systems for recovery. Education systems would be disrupted, with schools and universities damaged or repurposed for the war effort. However, post-war, there could be a renewed focus on education and innovation as nations strive to rebuild and recover. The experiences of World War III would provide valuable lessons for future generations. The importance of peace, diplomacy, and international cooperation would be emphasized to prevent such a catastrophe from happening again. Post-war rebuilding would be a monumental task. Infrastructure, economies, and societies would need to be reconstructed. International aid and cooperation would be crucial in the recovery process, with a focus on sustainable development and resilience. Despite the devastation, there would be hope for a better future. The end of the war could bring about a renewed commitment to peace and cooperation. Nations might work together to address global challenges like climate change, poverty, and inequality. World War III, if it were to occur, would be a catastrophic event with far-reaching consequences. However, it also presents an opportunity for humanity to learn, grow, and unite in the pursuit of a more peaceful and prosperous world. The hope is that such a conflict remains a hypothetical scenario, with nations choosing diplomacy and dialogue over destruction and despair.